This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news of the business of podcasting. Brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Tom Webster. Here's what you need to know for today, Thursday, April 18th. The Real Work of Murder, Lessons from the Stars of True Crime. During this year's Sound Summit at South by Southwest, Nick Witters and John Allen from Ballin Studios joined AudioChuck's Brittany Bigelow and Kylie Lowe of Dark Down East to share insights on the creative process, audience development, and the challenges of producing true crime. Two themes persisted throughout the panel: consistency and connection. Committing to a regular cadence creates a reliability that audiences will resonate with, and true crime operates best with compassion and care at the forefront. And there's a link to that full article in the show notes. Preparing for pre-election, mitigating the UK's general election impact on revenue. Adalicious CEO Andrew Goldsmith gives a quick explainer on a unique challenge faced by podcasts in the UK, the pre-election period. Whenever a general election is held, a pre-election period of political neutrality kicks in, restricting what content government-funded advertising will run on. A general election has to happen in 2024, but the Prime Minister has yet to formally pick a date. Goldsmith suggests UK podcasting keep it on the straight and narrow. If a topical show isn't inherently political, ensure it remains as nonpartisan as possible. It would be viable to pitch projects before the pre-election cycle that could be worked on during the pre-election blackout, with intent to publish just after things return to normal. And there's a preview of the sports audio report from Sirius XM Media, Group M, and Edison Research. The upcoming sports audio report is built from surveys of over 3,500 Americans aged 13 and up who self-identify as sports fans, scoring themselves a 4 or higher on a 10-point scale. 89% of sports fans say they frequently or occasionally watch sports content, while 64% listen to it. And 86% of those listeners do it to stay connected to their favorite team or sport, while 58% do it to be part of a community of fans. 46% of respondents say they'd be more likely to buy a product or service advertised by an athlete they like. For respondents who specifically listen to sports podcasts, that number jumps to 68%. Over 3 in 4 sports fans have taken action after hearing an ad on a sports podcast or sports-focused audio program, and over half report having purchased a product or service as a result. And from Campaign, podcasting can be a golden media channel for advertisers. In a new edition of Campaign's Audio Trends series, the CMO of the UK's IAB, James Chandler, shares his views on why advertisers should include podcasting in their media plans this year. As Chandler said at last year's podcast Upfront, podcasting is no longer an emerging medium. Advertisers have moved past the test and learn phase of running on podcasts, and the medium is inherently future-proofed for the post-cookie world. Podcast advertising has largely operated off of first-party data since the beginning, and audiences are paying attention. According to a survey from The Guardian, 65% of UK listeners paid attention to podcast ads, compared to 39% with television. And for the rest of the news, YouTube has launched the ability for advertisers to buy ads between YouTube Shorts, specifically for particular content categories. Educational video series Crash Course, which has been producing courses since 2011, has announced their first podcast, an 11-part series starring Crash Course co-creator John Green and astrophysicist Katie Mack. And Creative Artists Agency is partnering with AI companies to facilitate scans of client bodies, faces, and voices to create digital likenesses that the client owns. CAA's Chief Legal Officer Hillary Crane is of the opinion that new digital likeness legislation should imitate established consumer product counterfeit laws, as digital likenesses still trade on the original person's public image. And for today's data snapshot, it's that time of month again. Triton Digital has published their US podcast ranker, and our snapshot shows 3 podcasts that sprang forward in March. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by Brian Barletta, Gavin Gaddis, and me, Tom Webster. This episode is recorded using Numano. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Tom Webster. Download us again tomorrow.